What is going on, Headliner Nation? Welcome back into the Fantasy Headliners, and Kyle here to talk to you about some wide receivers again today. Been doing a lot of wide receiver content recently, but makes sense because I typically do the wide receiver rankings here in season. So I'm just continuing that off-season trend here because now we're going to do some off-season rankings for the wide receiver position, talking through the top 30 overall wide receivers. Now, I will preface this entire video by telling you one thing. When I look through the names, there's about 45 or 50 guys that I want to put inside the top 30. I might not be the smartest man, but I do know that that's not possible. So there's going to be names missing here that as of right now, you're going to be saying, Kyle, that guy has to be inside the top 30. It just can't happen though. All right. So there's going to be injuries. There's going to take other things that are going to happen. So I'm going to go through my top 30 and I'm going to toss out just a few other names at the very end to just say, hey, you're probably going to ask where these guys are at. This is why they're not in the top 30 right now. So we'll go through all of it. Make sure you watch to the very end and then leave me some comments after that if you've got questions or want to know a little bit more about the thought process. But I mean, honestly, this is like a jungle that we're trying to work our way through right now. And if you're trying to work your way through a personal jungle on a weekly basis, that means you got to head over to manscaped.com and use our code word headliners at checkout. When you toss yourself in like a perfect package or an ultra premium package, get yourself cleaned up this summer. It's beach season, ladies and gentlemen. You need to make sure that you're looking good and feeling fresh out there. So head to manscaped.com, code word headliners at checkout, 20% off your entire purchase and free shipping. But enough is enough. Time to jump right into it today. And let's kick it off with wide receiver number one, who we already know who it's going to be. Well, at least I do. If you don't, then I got a question where your head is at right now. Cooper Kupp's going to be number one for me. I mean, just such a fantastic season last year. So many good things that he has done. It's hard to imagine that he doesn't end up in the top 5 at least, right? Maybe number 1 overall would be tough to do again, especially when you add a guy like Allen Robinson towards the, you had the guy like Allen Robinson in the offseason. And now if you get a full season out of him, maybe it takes away a little volume that Kupp saw last year, and you still got Van Jefferson there. So we'll see what happens with it. But Cooper Kupp, it's hard to move off him at wide receiver 1 right now. Justin Jefferson at number 2, dude just continues to ball out. Deep play threat, wins all over the field, great route runner, has weapons around him to take the pressure off. Justin Jefferson's still there at number 2. Ja'Marr Chase at number 3. He's going to have some weeks where he's going to frustrate you because I think some of that inconsistency will be there just because of how many people there are to spread the ball around to, but there's going to be so many big games that by the end of the season gets here, he's going to be top 3. Stefon Diggs at number 4, man. Now, they've lost, obviously they lost Cole Beasley, Emmanuel Sanders. They moved on from some guys. They ended up bringing in Jamison Crowder. They brought in O.J. Howard. You've got Gabriel Davis still there. So Stefon Diggs has plenty of weapons around him. But again, he is the guy in that offense. Now, he lost some of that efficiency last year that he saw the year prior. Saw a little bit of a tick back kind of in that touchdown range, but the volume will still continue to be there for him. He is the number 1 option for Josh Allen, and the number 1 option for Josh Allen should be in the top 5. I'm going to put Davante Adams still in the top 5 right now. In years past, I would have taken a look at it and said, is the move from Aaron Rodgers to Derek Carr going to be a downgrade that really, really hurts him? Sure, probably, but we don't see that as much with wide receivers anymore. A lot of times when they make that switch to different teams, there isn't normally that downfall that they're used to be before they end up coming back up. But with Davante Adams, he's going to work with the quarterback that he has worked with before, that he has that connection with. Him and Derek Carr played together at Fresno State. These guys are in tune already. We don't need to worry about all of that issue with him. The volume's going to be there for him. He's going to be the number 1 option, and they play in a division where they're going to be throwing the ball a lot. Deebo Samuel at number 6, taking just a little step back. He's still going to continue to be the main option in that offense. The only thing that could really bring him back at this point is some of those rushing touchdowns. I do believe those fall back this year. So then Deebo Samuel could end up falling back even a little bit more. Even if the wide receiver numbers hold steady, all those rushing touchdowns he got, if he doesn't get those again or close to it, that's what could end up bringing him down. Mike Evans at number 7. There's not going to be any Chris Godwin. Russell Gage is there now, but again, newcomer. Is Tom Brady really going to trust Russell Gage like that over Mike Evans? No, not on a regular basis. You've lost OJ Howard. Obviously, Gronk still has not made a commitment to come back. You don't have Ronald Jones anymore, who caught some passes out of the backfield. So for me, Mike Evans, just volume-wise, deserves to be in the top 10. His ceiling could go even higher than that, but whenever Chris Godwin does end up getting back, obviously it could level back out at that point. Tyreek Hill at number 8, a little lower than what he's been used to, but I talked about it in another video a couple of days ago, talking about all these wide receivers recently, where I really had discussed, with Tyreek Hill, people have made comments about, oh, he could see a drop in production because Tua can't go down the field the way Patrick Mahomes did, and I agree with that. Obviously, he doesn't have the same type of arms as Mahomes, but Hill isn't that type of a receiver. If you look at the way he's been utilized by Kansas City, he's been utilized in a lot of those intermediate routes. Yes, he does have big plays over the top, but he creates a lot of big plays himself. He's going to do the same thing in Miami, so I'm not dropping him too far. CeeDee Lamb at number 9 for me right now, and this is where we start to kind of get into a weird area of guys that I could see going higher and guys that I could see going lower. Like these guys kind of in these next 10 picks or so really they could be all over the place. This is going to be all jumbled up by the end of the season, but CeeDee Lamb is going to get the first nod for me here at number 9, the number 1 weapon in that offense. When will Michael Gallup be healthy? Obviously, you've got Dalton Schultz, who will still be the number 1 target there, I believe. Maybe not number 1 target, but kind of that safety option for Dak Prescott. CeeDee Lamb, for me, they just need to utilize him better. They need to let him utilize the entire route tree, and they need to put him in a position to, like what I just talked about with Tyreek Hill, where they get the ball in his hands in some of those intermediate routes and lets him make plays himself. Keenan Allen at number 10, he will still be the number 1 target in that offense, especially if we see the type of offense that we saw last year for them. Offensive line continues to be really, really good. I'm excited. I'm excited for Keenan Allen and what he could do volume-wise this year. Maybe some of the big plays won't be there, but volume-wise, he should be just fine. A.J. Brown out of Philadelphia at number 11. I think we're going to see a lot of this with A.J. Brown. I'm giving him the nod over Devontae Smith because you don't go get A.J. Brown if you don't believe that you already don't have that true number 1 on your team. A.J. Brown, to me, is that true number 1. Devontae Smith is not. So Devontae Smith, I think his efficiency could end up going up a little bit, but his volume is going to come crashing down because it's A.J. Brown that's going to lead this team this year. Amari Cooper at number 12. As of right now, we still don't have any word on a Deshaun Watson suspension. They've talked about it's coming soon for a while now, and we still haven't heard anything. So right now, I'm just ranking him as if Deshaun Watson's going to play all 17 games. Now, will he? At this point, it's looking like probably not. There's been some reports that he's going to be suspended. So Amari Cooper will fall a little bit for me. But as of right now, we haven't heard that. So I have to rank him as we see right now. T. Higgins at number 13, talked about him in contested catches. Great wide receiver 2 on that team. He's going to get a decent amount of volume. Efficiency is going to be there for him. Like some of these other guys, though, because you have so many great 1-2 combos, 1-2 punches, and wide receivers on teams right now, you're going to have weeks where Jamar Chase is going to go off so Higgins won't get his, or Higgins will go off so Jamar Chase won't get his. Jamar Chase, to me, is a little bit of a bigger playmaker. T. Higgins is a little bit more of that possession wide receiver, that big play guy. So for T. Higgins, he's just going to be a little bit lower down here. Michael Pittman, I think the move to Matt Ryan is better for him this year than having Carson Wentz. I think it is a little bit of an upgrade. We saw kind of that breakout with him last year. I expect things to continue to get better, and he will be locked in as the number 1. That could be bad some weeks. It could be good others. DJ Moore at number 15. The dude is just way too talented to not have inside the top 15 wide receivers. Yeah, you're going to be frustrated on some certain weeks with him. Hopefully another year with Sam Darnold helps that connection, though. And as long as he finds the end zone, if he finds the end zone more often this year, he's definitely a top 15 pick at the wide receiver position. Now, if he still only scores a couple of touchdowns, we're going to have issues getting him inside the top 20, but I expect that offense to be just a little bit better than it was last year. DK Metcalf at number 16. Again, we don't know. Is it going to be Drew Lock? Is it going to be Geno Smith? Either way, is it really that good? Deontay Johnson at number 17, changing quarterback as well. Yeah, it could be better for him. We don't know that for sure at this point, whether it's Trubisky, whether it's Pickett. We're not 100% sure that, yes, actually this season, Pickett is going to be outstandingly better than Roethlisberger was. But Pat Freiermuth is ready to take a step forward. They drafted Pickens. Deontay Johnson, to me, is a guy that, yes, volume could come down, but efficiency could get a little bit better. Jalen Waddle, good volume last year, awful efficiency. I mean, the dude basically caught the ball and was done at that point. Was that his fault? No, not really. But now you've got him working opposite of Tyreek Hill. Again, volume comes down, efficiency goes up. Brings him down the leaderboard a little bit, but you're going to get more consistent weeks out of him. Terry McLaurin at number 19, I would like to go higher with him, but for right now, I'm going to have to put him right about here. I mean, Michael Pittman last season, I think Michael Pittman, Terry McLaurin, we're going to see pretty similar seasons out of those two, from what we saw last year from with Pittman and Wentz to this year from McLaurin and Wentz. But mentioned it in our big play or in our contested catches video, Terry McLaurin is still going to have some guys around him as well. Cortland Sutton at number 20. He gets Russell Wilson this year, but there's so many weapons around Cortland Sutton that it's just hard for me to imagine him being a top tier wide receiver every single week. Cortland Sutton, Jerry Jeudy's at number 23. You've got KJ Hamler still there, right? You've got Melvin Gordon. You've got Javonte Williams. Both of them can catch the ball out of the backfield. You've got Albert. Are you okay? There's so many options around them that Sutton, I just don't see Russell Wilson going to one guy over and over and over. Chris Godwin at number 21. As of right now, again, no idea when he's going to be healthy and ready to play. But Chris Godwin is a guy that I'm going to toss up here because by the time he does end up playing, he should put together a decent enough season to work his way up. Now, the longer it takes for him to get ready to play, obviously, the further he falls back. Brandon Cooks at number 22. I mean, overlooked basically all year last year. Put up a decent amount of volume, another 1,000 receiving yards season. Probably the same thing with Davis Mills this year. And in fact, I think Davis Mills offers a little bit more consistency, but this isn't going to be an offense that's going to tear the roof off of any given game. So yes, there's going to be opportunities there for Cooks. Yes, he's going to have some big games. Yes, he's going to make you angry and want to throw your computer through a wall some weeks. Jerry Jeudy, just talked about him. He's at number 23 for me. Mike Williams at number 24. I would like to go higher with him, and I would if we saw the Mike Williams that we got the first several weeks of the season in 2021. That's the Mike Williams that runs all the routes on the tree. He's utilized all over the field. The Mike Williams that we saw at the end of the season where he's just the big play threat is inconsistent and touchdown dependent. Darnell Mooney coming in at number 25 for me. He's going to have a lot of volume this year, but you know, how good is that volume going to be? People say volume is king, and that isn't necessarily always correct because just because someone has a ton of volume doesn't mean that their ceiling is going to be high every single week because that efficiency might not be there. That's what we could see with Darnell Mooney. Christian Kirk, for me, will end up being the wide receiver one for the Jacksonville Jags this year. I think he's going to be that safety option for Trevor Lawrence. Those two are going to be on the same page. Hopefully, they are working together. I could also see Christian Kirk dropping a few as well and being a little bit more towards that low-end wide receiver 3. I got him a little bit on the higher end as of right now. Allen Robinson at number 27. Would love to go higher with him, but you can't with Cooper Kupp there, right? So for me, Allen Robinson, I think he's going to be a guy that you really look at as high-end wide receiver 3, low-end wide receiver 2, with some high-end wide receiver 2 upside each week. Hunter Renfrow at number 28. Great season last year, but he's going to lose a lot of that volume to Devontae Adams now. Juju Smith-Schuster, I mean, is he going to be the number 1 in that offense at this point? Is he going to be the number 2? Is he going to work out of the slot? Is he going to work outside? There's still a lot of questions to be answered about Juju's role in that offense. But what we do know is that Juju was one of the most prolific wide receivers in all of the NFL for a couple of seasons in Pittsburgh. Yes, when he became the number 1 and worked on the outside more often, it wasn't as good. But now that he's back in a big play offense like this, you have to expect that Juju, that talent, will help take over a little bit. Treylon Burks is going to be at number 30. I mean, we don't know when Bobby Trees is going to be ready to go, but we do know that Treylon Burks is basically going to be the guy in Tennessee with all the volume coming to him. So again, volume can be king at sometimes, but the problem with that is that the efficiency for Burks might not be there if he has to be the true locked in wide receiver one, and he just isn't ready to handle that as of yet. So there we go. Really ran through my top 30 wide receivers, points on each of them, but I want to jump back for just a second here, and I'm just going to do a little bit of a notable section. I'm just going to list a few guys real quick for you and give you a reason as to why they're not inside the top 30 right now. And these are guys that you're probably asking about, like, Kyle, how do you not have this guy in the top 30? Again, there's like 50 guys I would like to have in the top 30. It's just not going to happen. But Michael Thomas, injury-wise, is he going to be ready to go? Is he going to be healthy for an entire season? Marquise Brown, yes, you're going to get a good chunk of the season without DeAndre Hopkins, but Hopkins is going to be back after 6 games. Amon-Ra St. Brown, you added Jamison Williams, TJ Hawkinson still there, DeAndre Swift, a full healthy season. You bought back Reynolds. You've got guys there already that can help. Is Amon-Ra really going to see the same type of volume that he saw at the end of last year? Elijah Moore, you've got Garrett Wilson there now as well. You've brought in tight ends to try and help out. You've got 2 playmakers in the backfield. Is Zach Wilson going to take a step forward? Rashad Bateman, can he be the guy? Can he be the guy? That's going to be the biggest question. DeAndre Hopkins, going to be gone 6 games. I just can't put him top 30 as of right now. Devontae Smith, AJ Brown's been added. Tyler Lockett, new quarterback. Don't know if we can go down the field. Adam Thielen, he's been banged up the last couple of years. Can he sustain the touchdown numbers that we've seen? Guys like Drake London as well. Can he really be the number one there? And people are going to ask about Garrett Wilson, rookie wide receiver, hesitant to put him up there as of right now. Kadarius Toney's name is going to come up because of the little stretch of season where he had last year that was good. I'm not ready to go that route as of yet. Chris Olave, will Michael Thomas be there or won't he be there? Chris Olave with Michael Thomas probably isn't going to put up top 30 numbers. Tyler Boyd, he's going to be really, really close for me. But again, with those other receiving options there, he's going to have some inconsistencies that may not allow him to fall in up there. And I'm sure there's going to be even more names that you're thinking about right now where you're like, Kyle, why isn't this guy in the top 30? And again, I get it. There's a lot of guys I would like having in the top 30, but I can't have them. So what I need you to do down in the comments below, let me know one name that I didn't have inside the top 30 and give me an argument as to why you would put them in the top 30 if I don't have them there. Make sure you hit that like button for me as well. And if you're new here to the Fantasy Headliners, hit the subscribe button. Stick around all offseason long for that juicy content, and make sure that you keep coming back even in season. But ladies and gentlemen, there you go, my top 30 wide receivers. Still early in the offseason. This list is going to change before we get to kickoff, so don't worry, we'll be updating it throughout the year. But peace out, stay safe, stay healthy. I'm getting ready to go board a plane to head out to Arizona to hang out with Jake for a few days and make a special trip to one of our partners. But I'll catch you all on the next episode of the Fantasy Headliners.